Rain hammered down on the dusty backroads of Willow Creek, a small American town where nights were usually quiet and trouble rarely came knocking. But tonight was different. Tonight fate had other plans. 18-year-old Maya Brooks, a poor girl living on the edge of town in a worn-down trailer, was walking back from her late shift at the diner. Her shoes were soaked, her jacket too thin for the storm, and her feet aching from double shifts she took just to afford groceries for herself and her sick mother. As she walked, Maya suddenly froze. There, near the ditch, lay a man, huge, bleeding, and barely conscious. His leather cut, even soaked in mud, was unmistakable. The patch read HELLSANGELS, Redwood Chapter. Her heart nearly stopped. Everyone in town whispered stories about the angels, violent, dangerous, untouchable. People said you never crossed their path and lived without consequences, but Maya wasn't the type to walk away from someone in pain. Slowly she approached. "Sir, can you hear me?" she whispered, voice trembling. The man groaned, trying to push himself up but failing. A deep gash ran across his side and his knuckles were bruised like he'd been in a serious fight. His motorcycle lay twisted a few feet away, probably crashed in the storm. "You need help," Maya said, her fear drowned out by instinct. "Don't take me to a hospital," he mumbled, voice rough. "No cops." Maya hesitated. Anyone else would have run, but she saw something human in him: pain, fear, and exhaustion. "Okay," she said softly, "my house is close, let me help you." She wrapped his arm over her shoulder. The weight nearly knocked her over. He was massive, built like a tank, but she gritted her teeth and dragged him step by step. Inside her tiny trailer, she laid him on the old sofa. The roof leaked, the lights flickered, but it was warm. She grabbed the first aid kit, her hands shaking as she cleaned his wound. He watched her quietly, eyes heavy but alert. "You're brave," he murmured. "I'm just doing what anyone would," she said. "Not anyone," he replied. "Most would have left me on that road." As she stitched the cut, something she'd learned from watching online videos for her mother's injuries, he winced but never complained. When she offered him soup, he stared at her with a strange softness, like he hadn't been shown kindness in years. "What's your name?" Maya asked. "Blaze," he said, "Angel of Redwood." She didn't understand what that meant, but the patch on his jacket told her it carried weight. Rain continued pounding outside. Blaze drifted into a heavy sleep, but before he did, he looked at her one last time. "You saved me," he said. "I won't forget this." Maya didn't know what he meant. She didn't know that by sunrise, her life and her quiet little town would never be the same again. Because the next morning, 100 Hell's Angels would arrive outside her house, and everything she knew would be turned upside down. The first sign that something was wrong came at sunrise, an unusual rumble that shook the thin walls of Maya's trailer. At first, she thought it was thunder lingering from last night's storm. But when the rumble grew louder, steadier, she stepped to the window and peeked outside. Her breath caught in her throat. The entire dirt road was filled, lined with motorcycles as far as she could see. Chrome glinted in the morning sun, engines roared in perfect unison. Leather cuts with the same skull and wings patch Blaze wore flashed like a wall of power. Hell's Angels, dozens, maybe 100. Maya stumbled back from the window, heart pounding. Oh no, what did I get myself into?" Behind her, Blaze stirred on the couch. "They're here," he said calmly, as if this was completely normal. "Who's here?" Maya whispered, though she already knew. "My brothers," Blaze said, "the Redwood Chapter and a few more. I told you I wouldn't forget what you did." "But why are all of them outside my house?" Blaze pushed himself up, wincing. "Because you saved the life of a Redwood Angel, that means something, and because what happened to me last night wasn't an accident." Maya frowned. "You crashed." He shook his head. "I was run off the road, rival club, they wanted to send a message." Now fear twisted in Maya's stomach, but Blaze placed a reassuring hand on her arm. "You're safe, let me handle this." He stood painfully, slowly, and stepped outside. The moment he appeared, every engine cut off. Silence spread like a wave. The angels watched him with hard eyes, waiting for his word. Then Blaze lifted a hand and pointed toward Maya's small trailer. "This girl," he announced, voice booming, "saved my life last night. If it weren't for her, I'd be dead. From this moment on, she's under Redwood protection." Dozens of gruff men nodded. Some crossed their arms respectfully, others placed fists over their hearts. Maya stepped outside reluctantly, feeling hundreds of eyes turn toward her. She felt tiny, fragile not just because she was poor or young, but because these men looked like living mountains draped in leather and steel. Yet none of them looked at her with hostility. In fact, many looked grateful. A tall biker with a white beard stepped forward. "Name, Iron Jack, president of the Redwood chapter. You helped our brother, that means your family now." Family," Maya stuttered. Jack nodded. "Anyone bothers you, they answer to all of us." Another biker spoke up. "Your roof leaks, we'll fix it." Someone else added, "You got food in the house, if not, we'll load your pantry." Overwhelmed, Maya shook her head. I didn't do it for anything, he just needed help." Blaze smiled at her, "And that's why we're here." That day, the small dirt road outside her trailer became a campsite of roaring engines, laughter, and loyalty. The angels repaired her home, stocked her kitchen, and stood guard like guardian warriors. The poor girl who once walked alone in the rain now had 100 Hell's Angels watching over her. Her life would never be the same, because family didn't always come from blood. Sometimes it came from the most unexpected roads.